If we cannot bring the students to the field, can we bring the field to the students? Yes, we can. We develop and use virtual reality technologies to teach operations management. To solve a learning assignment, students virtually visit real factories located around the world. Our teaching innovation provides the students an immersive, inquiry-based, and effective learning experience.
When we began developing VR education apps in 2017, we started with the question, what does this technology enable that isn't possible with any other technology? STEM, and in particular physics education, is full of ideas that are kind of abstract and hard to imagine. And the thing that's wonderful about VR is you can give people those complex worlds to experiment with, to see in 3 dimensions in an immersive way. There's that risk with VR that it's kind of novel and fun, and we're actually really interested in asking, is this better than doing this on a computer screen? Our answer was that there are 2 reasons VR is a game changer for education. You can either give students the opportunity to experiment with complex invisible worlds, or allow them to experience impossible worlds that are the realizations of their misconceptions. And so we started developing 2 apps. One of them was around visualizing and playing with electric and magnetic fields. They can see how these fields influence moving charged particles and are completely free to build their own systems. Dissonance VR places students in a basketball court and then asks them a question about what forces act on the ball. If they have it wrong, the world doesn't behave familiar, it's icky, it feels weird. They then have some time to reflect, and a narrator kind of guides them through their decision making to kind of reconsider and hopefully correct their misconceptions.
I found that really helpful, that I could physically see what it would be like with no gravity. Physics is not my strong point personally. I feel like the learning was really assisted by the fact that I could practically do what we learned.
I think it was just better to visualize it. You got to see it in practice.
We were able to experiment with something that you can't usually experiment with.
The impact of our apps and hardware is significant. This year in particular, we managed to scale up the hardware. The hardware got portable and cheap and effective so that we can put up to 60 through an experience in an afternoon. And so we were able to do this with 40 students and then compare them against the backdrop of students that have done my course over the last 8 years. Students that played with VR did significantly better in a concept test that we've run over the last 8 years than those that didn't play with VR. We're also really excited to have recently added the ability to have multi-user experiences and see a huge potential in many other areas of STEM education that could benefit from visiting hard-to-reach places or impossible worlds.
The ChemCave VR project emerged from the Keeping It Local partnership, aimed to encourage students to pursue their higher education locally and ultimately protect our local intellectual capital in the region. So as part of the experience, Mountain Creek teachers and creative developers at USC collaborated to produce an immersive virtual reality chemistry resource, firstly for the Cave 2 Visualization Studio, and now in 2020, the Oculus VR head-mounted display.
The Cave 2 visualization environment allowed us to facilitate the learning journey by creating a true collaborative learning experience. The power of immersive technology for student learning was foremost in our minds when we commenced designing our pedagogical framework. Manipulating and interacting with chemical molecules through 3D visualization transforms knowledge acquisition. The teaching framework complements ChemKVR and ensures teachers anywhere around the world can design their own learning experience.
Visiting the ChemKVR at the university was a really unique opportunity. The 3D animations were engaging and interactive and allowed me to understand chemistry like never before.
So we're really proud of this partnership. It's led to multiple regional and national awards in Australia, and it's attracted significant grant funding, international media, and importantly, outcomes for our local students.
A regional pre- and post-experience school-based study of Year 11 and Year 12 students in 2019 and 2020 indicated students who utilised the ChemCave VR chemistry resource had increased cognition, student engagement and memory.
Imagine a future where from your own classroom or home, you can put on a VR headset and as avatars, you can be transported to the ChemCave VR environment. That means you can teach students using the power of virtual reality animations and resources to anywhere in the world. This is true educational equity.
In intercultural competency, you not only know the language, but the culture and the meaning behind the culture. And developing in Brian's framework of intercultural competency, you have the knowledge, the skills, as well as the attitudes and the awareness of the different culture. Using virtual reality, we bring students to different cultural environments so that they can explore different environments in the virtual world, and after that we allow them to actually develop their own environments in virtual reality.
The image that I explored just now, okay, in 360 degree immersive virtual reality. By using the VR headset, I was able to see real things which I haven't seen before.
I am able to see, to know, and to understand about the Chinese custom through the VR, such as the set of tea, the art of calligraphy, and the Chinese restaurant.
Melalui projek ini, ia telah meningkatkan kesedaran saya untuk memahami dan menghormati pelbagaian bangsa dan budaya.
After they have developed and tagged important things in the cultural elements in the environment, they are able to share the environments that they have produced with their friends in virtual reality.
visualization of orbitals in 3 dimensions is something that's really, really hard for students to grab a hold of, and for them to be able to, especially at the grade 12 level where that's expected, for them to be able to see those different shapes in 3 dimensions is really going to help them. The world is changing dramatically around us, and humans are the cause of much of this. We have pollution, we have mismanagement, we have climate change. But at the same time, although this topic is so crucial and is supported by the Sustainable Development Goals and the UN, who say we should leave no one behind in our journey towards a more sustainable future, in our education, I think we are leaving people behind. So despite this topic being so crucial, we still often teach it in a very traditional way in terms of passive learning. And what this means is that we lose our students often because they become disengaged. If we leave people behind, they cannot be champions for a more sustainable future. Experiential education is what we need to adopt. Virtual reality provides that beautiful opportunity for us to really engage our learners, to help them understand the nuances and complexities of scenarios of sustainability and climate change by taking them into the space where these things really matter without having to travel, and to learn from those people there about what their concerns are about sustainability. So we need to make more use of virtual reality for sustainability education, because the students we have today are the leaders of the future, and they will take us to that future if they're truly deeply educated on what is happening around us. This project has been very well received. We have now got 2 learning tools, one in Peru, one in Fiji, that are both being used widely. And this has had a big impact because 2,500 students around the world have now used this in Canada, in Vanuatu, as well as in New Zealand. And we hope that this will continue to make a great contribution towards that sustainable future that we all want.
Urban design is one of the pillars of architectural education, and here at the School of Architecture at GJU, we are always working to find ways to innovate and to take the process of design development beyond traditional learning outcomes and prepare our students to compete in an increasingly challenging global market.
This pilot project came out as a collaboration between a master's student in our spatial planning program and the well-established urban design course on the bachelor's level. It targets undergraduate students and educators with the vision to produce innovative applications for professional use.
The project integrates augmented reality technologies with handheld devices to improve the students' comprehension of the complex multidisciplinary layers which make up the urban fabric. It allows them to improve their spatial understanding, enhance the context sensitivity of urban interventions through interactive engagement on site, shifting the designer from a bird's eye view to the user's point of view, and thus humanize the final product. Mobile technology was chosen because it is easily accessible to a wider audience and engages regular users, young and old, in experiencing the design. Tabletop models allowed them to collaborate in developing their conceptual ideas and place them on a 3D model of the site. World-scale AR allowed to broaden their imaginations and integrate art, imaginative landscapes, and special effects into their projects. The students get to experience how their projects will be perceived on ground and on location.
We are developing a package that introduces augmented reality not only as a new tool for visualization, but for the different stages of design development for everyone involved, such as learners, educators, and project stakeholders.
MAR also improved the existing pedagogical practice through expanding the learning environment from the classroom into the physical context as well as into virtual space. Our goal is to make it a standard and easily integrated tool in our urban design courses. We are very excited to adapt it to our needs and adopt the new possibilities it brings.
Making biodiesel in virtual reality. In the 26th campus of Tecnológico de Monterrey, there are over 1,000 students enrolled in the course. However, just one section in one campus has the opportunity to do the experiment at the lab, having successful results in terms of performance and engagement. We decided to virtualize the biodiesel production experiment to make it accessible to all students in a remote modality by means of virtualizing the experiment of biodiesel production, producing a didactic resource for the course, available to all sections in all campus at Tecnológico de Monterrey, measuring and analyzing the effect of the use of this resource on the students' interest and engagement, as well as their academic performance. We implemented the first prototype of our project in 2019. All the students in the experimental and control groups took the Motivated Strategies for Learning questionnaire, a standardized test before and after the intervention. After the intervention, the students on the experimental group showed statistically significant differences of an increase in intrinsic motivation and self-regulation. This shows that the VR experience is a good alternative to increase students' engagement when lack of resources and infrastructure constraints exist. If winning the prize, we plan to re-record and improve video with better quality, record and produce another lab experiment with VR, transfer the VR methodology to other university professors and even to other higher education institutions. In Mexico, there are around 60,000 students enrolled in chemical engineering programs and over 300,000 students of related majors for whom this project could serve as a complementary learning resource.